What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Walk It Off. My name is Paul Jarrett, and I am joined. It took way too long for this to happen. We were just talking about that by none other than Justin Babin of Babin on the Bayou. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be on the show. I know we've interacted and done stuff
Mhm.
on other platforms, but I'm excited to come on the show. Thank you for having me, my friend.
Oh, dude, it's my pleasure. You're doing me a great favor by doing this.
Of course.
Still, I'm not prepared at all today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still trying to get stuff done as we're going live, but nonetheless, what's going on with you? There's nothing really sports related going on. There's no drama with video games. I mean, EA fixed their issue, right? I saw that earlier. EA fixed Dynasty or something with the coaches, right? It's fixed.
So they slapped a band-aid on it, but they didn't do everything they should have done. They only
So
went like not even halfway or maybe halfway, but like it wasn't nearly. Look, I know everybody. Look, I one of my hobbies besides sports is I've always been a big sports video gamer. I've always
mhm.
been really into it. And college football was, I mean, it's the best video game I've ever played. Like, I played college football 14 for 10 straight years.
I think
I
everybody
still
did.
played it, and I was still playing it going into 2025. And then the thing is like, not to get on a rant about this, but like EA CFB 25 comes out 2 years ago, and we're all so excited because for 10 years, the best video game franchise that I ever played, that I loved, that I was in love with, didn't release. And they came out with CFB 25. We were so excited, even though we knew it had, some upgrades and some things. They said that it was our game. They said that they were going to listen to the community. They were going to listen to college football fans. CFB 25 releases, I love it. CFB 26 releases, I love it. Not perfect games, but I'm excited to have college football back. And then CFB 27 comes out, and they decide to make it to where you buy the game for $100. You buy the game for $100. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take the two offline modes that everybody plays, Road to Glory and Dynasty, offline modes, and we're gonna make it to where you have to pay more money on top of the 100 you've already paid to upgrade your coach to the highest coach level 100. We're gonna make you pay more money to get your player in Road to Glory up to a 99 overall. Even though you've already paid $100 of your hard-earned money, it's not enough for EA. They're not satisfied. They want more. They want more. And it's like, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And I don't mean to go on a rant about a video
No,
game.
you're
I,
fine. You're
I know
fine.
it's not important to everybody, but like, it's just, you already paid $100.
I
Like,
paid
like
150.
what?
I paid 150 because I thought the
Exactly.
only product you could buy to get it early was college football 27 and Madden. And I haven't played Madden over
Paul, I got
15
annoyed with
years.
Madden. I was done with Madden when EACFB came out because for years Madden had turned into pay to play. That's what it had turned into. I've always been an offline guy. Like in Madden, I've always been a franchise guy, my player guy or superstar mode or whatever it is. I never wanted to get in an ultimate team because it was just pay for play. You had to pay to get your team up to where you wanted them to be. And that's why I got so sick of Madden. And I was like, well, you know what? College football's different. We've had 2 years of it, and it's been good. It's been a great game, and I've really enjoyed it. And this year, it's not even like they're bringing it to Ultimate Team, which it was already on Ultimate Team. They're bringing it to offline modes, to Dynasty and the Road to Glory, where you're playing against the computer.
So, and this is the funny thing for me when it comes to all that. So I didn't have even a console until college football 25 came out. Then I got up, I was living in Central and I drove to GameStop. You know exactly where I went. and I went and bought a PlayStation 5, bought the game, and was playing it. I got hooked to Ultimate Team. I'm not gonna lie. Like it bit me. In 26, that's why I didn't buy the game. I was like, I'm staying away from that money pit. I'm staying away from that siphon. I'm not doing it. But unless I'm playing college football 27, like I bought Battlefield because I used to love
Mhm.
Call of Duty and stuff. I played it twice, but people are just so good, and I'm so old and can't play as much. There's just no point in me playing. But I accepted the money pit of Ultimate Team because you can do things in ways where you don't have to.
Mhm.
There's ways to get
Yeah.
around it. So I've never played Dynasty. That's so a lot of this dynasty stuff. I'm like kind of I'm rookie on. I don't know as much about.
See, I'm different. I've always played Dynasty and I've never played Ultimate
But
Team.
what's the band-aid they did? So
So
the problem was you
here's
had to basically pay to get your coach leveled up. That was the
so
only way.
in the previous games, 26 and 25, they have what's called a coach XP level progression slider. There were 5 settings that you could put it on: slowest, slower, normal, fast, and fastest. If you wanted to put it on fastest, your coach could upgrade like that. As far as coach levels, there's 100 coach levels and get you up to level 100 and get you up there to where you want to be. They originally took fast and fastest out of the game to where it was only slowest, slower, and normal. And they put faster back in the game, but they
Uh,
didn't put fastest back in the game. So they still have the slider that was in there for the 2 previous years is still not in the game. And they still have microtransactions to where you're still allowed to pay to upgrade your coach in an online mode or an offline mode, excuse me. And it's like, why? Why? It doesn't make sense. Maybe it does for Ultimate Team because it's online. That's what Ultimate Team is. But you're playing against the CPU. Why should you have to pay money? And that's not even getting into Road to Glory because they did nothing on Road to Glory. They just slapped a band-aid on Dynasty that wasn't everything we wanted.
so the thing that and just now I was kind of thinking about what me and you discussed prior to starting the show. And so I went and started a dynasty before all this happened just to kind of see what it's about. It seems like a lot of work to me. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit here for 4 hours and figure this out. So I
Mhm.
just picked Lane Kiffin as my coach because I
Mhm.
had LSU as a dynasty. I wanted to figure out what it was like before I went and got a Tulane or a Marshall.
Mhm.
And so I had Lane Kiffin as my coach.
Mhm.
Do you think, thinking about what came out today, colleges are going to try to pivot themselves to work with game developers to get a piece of action for branding and coaching stuff and this and that? Could that be a way to monetize to the universities for NIL?
I mean, look, I don't know. I definitely think it could. I mean, they're already. I mean, you remember in the old college football, the last one that I played was NCAA football 14 before the new version of the game came out, CFB 25. You didn't have actual players. You didn't have real
You
players.
could get
Now,
them.
well, yeah.
You
I
could
mean, there were
download
like
rosters
there
from
were
the
like
thing.
rosters and stuff, but now you actually have like the actual players are in the game and getting paid and getting, you know, paid off of this. And that's helping. And you're seeing like I don't know how it is the ins and outs of financially how everything works in that, but you also have actual coaches in the game now. Lane Kiffin is in the game now. Now there are some coaches who opt out and say, we're not going to be in the game. Like Bill Belichick was never in the Madden games. Bill Belichick was never ever in the Madden games.
I never realized that.
Mario Cristobal is not in the CFB 27, the head coach in Miami. He opted out. He's
Interesting.
not in there. But most of the coaches, 90 to 95%, are in there. So I don't know exactly how the financials play out with that, but it's just like you like I wrote this earlier today and I was thinking about this. These companies make billions and billions of dollars off of their consumers. Like they make billions of dollars off of their consumers. But it's like it's never enough. It's never enough for these people. No matter how much money they make, they're going to try to make more, no matter the fact that video game prices, I mean, even in, even in sports today, the ticket prices in college sports today are insane for a football ticket, right? Everything has skyrocketed. And I made this correlation, right? Like, and I know maybe I'm a little bit off base with this, but like EA has a monopoly on the college football video game. What did EA college football fans not want in the game? They didn't want this pay for play, microtransactional type stuff. What did EA give them anyway? Well, that's what they gave them. In regular college football, the powers that be in college football today, from the NCAA, College Football Playoff Committee, athletic directors, donors, conference commissioners, like, what do college football fans, 90 to 95% of college football fans, not want? A 24-team expanded college football playoff that's going to water down the regular season. What are we getting anyway? A 24-team college football playoff expansion that waters down the regular season. So it's like the fans don't matter. Like the fans don't matter to these people. And it's so infuriating.
Well, the thing with that, so I believe it was Josh Pate that came out saying, and actually the funny part was, well, what's his name? Elko, right? Elko at Texas A&M. At the SEC, not media days, but meetings this past March, Elko came out because they asked every coach, hey, what do you want to do with the playoff? Do you want this? You want that? He goes, yeah, I want it to be 100 teams. Because that gives me job security. If I can say I
respect that.
I respect the heck out of it.
I respect that.
Because at the same time, you can listen to his answer and say he doesn't want 24 teams. But you'll have coaches like John Summerall in Florida, the new head coach of Florida, come out and say, yeah, I think it'd be great for the sport. No, you don't. You have a top 25 for a reason. And usually you looked at the 15 to 25 area as like they wouldn't really stack up against the top 15. So now you want to put 9 of those teams in the playoff for what?
And I'll be honest, there was one point where I didn't think playoff expansion was the worst idea in the world. At one point earlier this year, it might have been last year, I actually didn't think a playoff expansion was a bad thing. But the more you talk about it, the more you realize it. Like, the thing is with it is just how much it affects negatively the regular season. Like, think about the rivalries that we care about from, for LSU, it's LSU Bama, LSU Ole Miss, LSU Florida, some of the biggest rivalries in the sport, the Iron Bowl, Michigan, Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma. Think about it like this, Paul. Michigan and Ohio State play each other on the last game of the season every single year. Imagine in a 24-team playoff format, they both go into that game 9-2. Well, in a 12-team playoff format, that game is huge. Whoever loses that game moves to 9-3 and probably doesn't make the 12-team playoff. If it's a 24-team playoff, who cares? Who cares about that game? It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect who makes the playoffs because 9-3 easily makes the college football playoff. So those games don't matter anymore. You could even, I'm not saying you would do this, you could even play your backups if you wanted to because that game doesn't matter. I hate saying that because it's one of the most historic rivalries in the sport, but that's what happens when you make it a 24-team playoff.
Yeah, you summed it up perfectly. And really, at the end of the day, all you can say is the fan bases don't matter. The fans of the sport do not matter. It all comes down to money. And I think I said this on a show last week. It's even to the point where, like, do I think athletic directors and university presidents and stuff want national championships? They want that because it gives them notoriety and more money. They don't care about aside from that. There's no want to get to the top, like for a player, for instance. But Major League Baseball told us this a couple years ago when Rob Manfred called the World Series trophy a hunk of metal. They don't care about the actual championship. They care about the money. The money runs everything, which it's true in life, but it's a sad day whenever just money overtakes the competition and the emotion of the actual sport.
It just it is disappointing, man. Like it's just like, and it's just kind of where college sports is. Like it's just kind of where it is. It's all about the money. Like it's all about the money. Like it's like it's kind of crazy to me. Not to get back into the Brendan Sorsby situation, but that was the first time that a line was finally drawn in the sand.
But I don't believe
a line was finally. What'd you say?
I don't believe a line was drawn in the sand. Because Texas had 3 coaches or 4 coaches get caught placing bets on games. You had 2 players at the University of Texas get caught placing bets on games. They're not gone. One of them got removed from the team, but I think he got reinstated later. 2 of the coaches at least got warnings, and 1 grad assistant was removed from the team. That's it. Brendan Sorsby was the headline. And the only reason Brendan Sorsby was really the biggest headline as he was is the way Cody Campbell and Texas Tech acted. Texas just kind of handled business in the house and went, don't worry about us, we're good.
Well, my thing with it is like, even though the right outcome happened, what was still proven in that scenario?
Nothing.
That the NCAA has zero power. They have zero power, and they have zero control.
It took state attorney generals getting involved.
Yeah.
It took state government.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and this is the thing. Here's my thing. I love college sports. Like I love college sports. I watch the NFL. I'll watch the MLB occasionally, and maybe even the NBA. MLB and NBA for me, I'm more of a honestly like
casual fan.
I'm a casual fan, and I'll watch in the postseason. I don't have an NBA team. I don't really have an MLB team. NFL, I'll watch year round because the NFL is awesome and it's the NFL. But overall, like pro sports are fine and I think they're great. But I'm a college sports guy. Like I'm a college sports guy. I love college sports in spite of its leadership. In spite of its leadership.
Yeah.
College sports is awesome. It is awesome. College football and college baseball especially is college football and college baseball, the greatest thing around. And college basketball is great too. I'm just not really that into that yet because of how LSU's been playing, but that's going to be better with Will Wade.
I always grew up saying, this is my thoughts on between college football and the NFL. Like back in the day when I was younger and I could do this. If I stayed up all night because of the LSU football game and we went out and we had fun and I woke up, I overslept and missed the first half of the Saints game, I don't care. I'm not missing the LSU game though. But let's get to the chat real quick.
Yeah.
Let's get to the chat real quick and say what's up to everybody. Hey, sweetheart. That's my niece. That's my niece, buddy. Our buddy Robbie's in the chat.
Robbie.
What's up, my man? What's up, buddy? Uncle Randy. The staff writer at In the Valley Shook, Mr. David Billiot, co-host of Go Deep Dive, is in the chat. What's up, buddy? What did Uncle Randy say? Tommy Tanks. I can see that every day for the rest of my life. Yep. I love Tommy Tanks. I don't know where they came from, but I love Tommy Tanks.
I mean, I know it's in your intro video.
The Wake Forest. That's right.
Walk off.
That's right. My bad, Uncle Randy. I forget sometimes. I promise you, guys, whenever I hit that intro, I'm not sitting here watching it. I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
Doing other things. Keep us updated on how Bino and Wax are doing, buddy. They're doing battle. They're doing battle tonight in Summer League, and Robbie's watching that Summer League game. I don't even know where to watch him. I need to talk to Robbie on how to watch those games. Let's see. Mr. Brian Turner is in the chat. We got an audio message from Mr. Brian Turner. Brian, I realized the screenshot you sent me has my phone number in it. So I'm just going to play the audio. We're not going to pull up the actual video, but thank you, buddy. Thank you. Again, if y'all have an audio or a video message y'all want to send it to a DM. If you DM it to me, send me a video. I don't know how I'm going to get the audio message off of DMs. So send me a video. David let us know that Sean Payton wasn't in the Madden games either, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was in that one with Drew Brees on the cover, though. But he may not have been in any other one.
Yeah, I think there were some that Sean was in. There were some that he was in. I think he was in the Madden games. There were a few of them that he wasn't in. I think it was after the scandal. I think it was after
Bounty Gate. David actually brings that up.
Yeah, I think it was after Bounty Gate. I think he was in that Madden 11 is my all-time favorite Madden when Drew Brees was on the cover. That was one of my first Maddens that I ever played. And as a kid, because the Saints just won the Super Bowl and Drew Brees is on the cover of next year's game. And it was just it was like magic. It was magic for me as a 7-year-old.
I'm going to date myself here because I'm old. But the first Madden I ever got, I didn't know what Madden was. I saw it as a football game, was the one with Eddie George on the cover. I think it was Madden 03 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was Eddie George on the cover. My favorite one was, I think it was 05 with Mike Vick on the cover. Because Mike Vick came in and it was just it was a cheat code. If you played against somebody, you weren't allowed to use the Falcons because Mike Vick could just run. He was like the old school Bo Jackson in the Tecmo days. Robbie says the last Madden Sean Payton was in was 24, and he's where he talked about the Bounty Gate stuff. But and Robbie clarified as well. I think after the Bounty Gate, he was in the game. I remember playing with him being the coach. We'll get into this real. What's this? We got an update from Robbie. Bino single his first at bat. Bad numbers going up, and Jason grounded out to first. We may have to talk a little bit of baseball tonight. We may have to discuss some stuff. Do you have an idea of a lineup right now? Have you thought about that?
A lineup. I mean, positionally, I've definitely have something. As far as a lineup, I haven't really put a lineup together yet. But I could I kind of know who generally I would kind of see the lineup as. I haven't put one together order-wise yet, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to do a quick break. We're going to pay some bills. When we come back, we're going to jump into some deeper conversations. We're going to have a little fun as well. Sound good? Stay with us.
John 16:33, Jesus says, I've told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I've overcome the world. That truth that Jesus won is so powerful, so significant in our lives if we fully trust and fully surrender to that promise. No matter what we're going to face, no matter what stress, no matter what challenges, no matter what anxiety, Jesus promises peace, and he reminds us that all of the sin, the fear, the doubt, the shame, he overcame it all. He paid the price for your sin and mine when he went to that cross. He died a death that we deserve. He went into the grave. He didn't stay there. 3 days later, he rose from the grave, and the promise is true that he's coming back someday. So the power and the significance of that verse is now in a 2-word phrase that's on a t-shirt, on a hat, on a hoodie, and simply said, Jesus won.
Even in the valley of the shadow of death, I can take rest, cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up feeling blessed, and even if I don't, I see it as a test.
Join me and your favorite players by expressing your faith and assisting local ministries. Use code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off your orders at JesusOneApparel.com. 15% of your purchase will support local ministries like the LFU FCA. That is code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off. Jesus One. In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get-together, make sure you contact Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, Let Lemme Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Lemme Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Lemme Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Lemme Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredients in anything made is love. Lemme Sourdough Bakery. Oh, and we are back. We are back. So, first thing we're going to discuss here. There was a little news dump today. Kind of flew under the radar. Not a whole lot of people talking about it. I believe LouisianaSports.net put a piece out. I'm not going to say who runs that account because we had to talk about that earlier. Forgot about that. But Ross Dellinger did put out a post earlier today with a screenshot saying there's a letter from the TAF, the Tiger Athletic Foundation, donors received announcing the unveiling of a new financial plan for athletics that stands to quite possibly change the future of college sports. In this post, it's a general message sent to the top 40 donors, I believe, saying that the Governor Jeff Landry and President Wade Rousse are having a meeting on Monday, August 3rd, or Wednesday, August 5th, beginning at 6 p.m. to have a look at the alternative revenue-generating opportunity for LSU. So I know you haven't had a chance to really look at that just yet, but off the top of your head, what kind of things, like we just said, using guys like Lane Kiffin, using, charging EA for, I'm sure they charge them in some way or another now, unless they look at it as a branding or a publicity generator, kind of like women's basketball. May not charge them for the use, but the depiction of the stadium, the depiction of the stuff around the stadium, the depiction of this or that. What could you think is a new revolutionary funding generator for college athletics at LSU? Keep in mind, Wade Rousse worked at the Federal Reserve in the past. Like, he has a background in finance.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think there are different opportunities out there. Certainly, I mean, I know this is maybe a small one, but the video game is one that has, generated a little bit of money. Now, that's not going to be a huge or anything like that. But it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just as far as generating revenue and different, alternative ways to do it. I just financially, I'm not, the most creative or innovative when it comes to that. But I think it is kind of just the way it's changed, man. Like, just the way the sport that I grew up on is it's almost unrecognizable. Like, it honestly is in certain ways. Like, it's like, you're starting to see more and more. Obviously, NIL and the transfer portal is the biggest, change that has rocked the college football world, but now sports world in general. But now you're starting to see, like, Venture Global on the field and the Woodside Energy, and like you're starting to see stuff like that and more sponsorships. Obviously, that's one of the biggest ways that revenue is going to be generated in this new age of college athletics. But to me, it's just, when I look at it, it's just like how much things have changed is just absolutely wild to me.
Well, the only saving grace I can really give it, to be completely honest, is the product on the field. Well, I'll take that back. I feel bad for schools like Mississippi State, for example, right? In football, they choose to put all their funding they have for athletics towards baseball. That's their choice. But in football, it's kind of, because I remember the Dak Prescott days. I remember days where Mississippi State game was going to be a dogfight, and it wasn't going to be just like a easy peasy thing. You know what I mean? But for LSU, the product on the field really hasn't changed. that's the only saving grace I have, because you still have players who care, right? Because you can go back and look at, because I remember I was listening to Josh Pate like a week ago saying how he remembers a day where bowl games, aside from the January 6th and further, mattered. I never really thought bowl games mattered unless they were on January 1st, not January 6th. I'm sorry. We're not doing the insurrection. January 1st. Like the New Year's games.
Yeah.
You still had guys opting out. Now you opt out a lot more. But I picked this up and I realized I was holding the sponsor of what, the Big 12 or the Big 10?
Big 12. Big 12. Yeah.
I can't drink these now. But like I don't think that would be the revolutionary thing. I'm like, now I start thinking about, I forgot what school it was. I think it was Utah, who brought in private money. Like, I don't think was it a hedge fund or something like that. It was private money to actually, they basically sold off their football program or their athletics department to this private money. And I'm this is all off the top of my head trying to figure it out, trying to remember. But that's what I start to worry about, is when private money gets involved and then they start making decisions and they start doing things. It's like, you're still a public university. Like, and not to go down the Piper Hutchinson path, but when private money starts getting involved, it starts getting real shady.
Yeah. As far as like other, not donors, but like private money getting involved. I know there was the big one that we talked about a few weeks ago, and I don't mean to get you on this again. You know what man I'm about to bring up his name.
Mr. Rye with Cody Campbell.
Mr. Cody Campbell. Yeah, I mean, it's just like saying that he is on the hook for $5 million for Brendan Sorsby, and saying that he's going to buy out Texas Tech's opponents. What was it? Abilene Christian and Texas State
to play Texas.
Like, that is.
And then Joey McGuire the other day coming out saying,
doing?
Spot the ball. Shut up, Joey. Like, I lost so much respect for that dude whenever he came out. Like, after all this, your quarterback isn't even cleared to play till week 3. Eric Hammond isn't cleared to play till week 3. And you're going to come out and tell me, go on a press conference, oh, no, we'll play Texas week 1. Spot the ball. Let's go. Shut up.
You know why? Well, you know why they did it and why he's speaking like this is he's speaking like this because he knows Texas isn't going to do it, because Texas plays Ohio State week 2. So it makes no sense when you're moving to a 9-game SEC conference schedule. You've only got 3 non-conference games now, and you've got Ohio State coming to Austin in week 2. It makes absolutely no sense from Texas's perspective to put Texas Tech on the schedule. So he knows it's a win for him because he knows they're not going to do it this year.
But see, that's why I'm not an athletic director or a head football coach for a football team, because I'm petty. I would have scheduled a week 0 game. I would schedule week 0, cancel my week 1 game, and played Ohio State week 2. That's it. Come on, Texas Tech, week 0. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. And, like, let's just be honest. Texas Tech lost every shred of credibility. Every shred of credibility with the Brendan Sorsby stuff. Like,
and it's like, I was like, I don't want to put it in terms of like I was a Texas Tech fan, but like during the 2025 season, like I was like, this is cool. Like, Texas Tech's cool. Like, this is cool. Like, I like seeing this new program and this new team get involved. And I didn't mind Joe McGuire. I thought it was a good coach and a, good man. And like, I started liking, I really think, the thing that made me love Texas Tech the most last year was I saw a sign in their student section, and I immediately said, oh, I really like Texas Tech now. There was a kid, it was during Texas Tech versus BYU last year. There was a kid in their student section that held up a sign that said, I love oil money. And it was like one of the best things I saw last year. And I was like, I think I'm a closet Texas Tech fan now because of that sign. No, but like the fall from grace for like Texas Tech. And then like the 20-minute video that was released on a
25-minute
Friday
video.
night by with Joe McGuire and the AD and the school president. It was just the weirdest thing. It was the definition of what not to do in PR. It was the definition of what not to do.
And it's funny, you watch that video, you can see the people sitting around the table going, we shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be doing this, but they're kind of forced to sit there. But let's bring it back to the money talk. With Cody Campbell coming out and saying, I'll buy out Abilene Christian and Texas State for week, a game against Texas. I'll be honest with you, I didn't care. Because in that scenario, you have contracts to be fulfilled. If you cancel the game, you pay a buyout or you pay out the whatever Texas State and Abilene Christian were promised. And if a private donor wants to do that, okay, by me, I don't care. It's like Gordon coming out and saying, Tulane talked all this mess last year about making it to the playoff. Let's, let's cancel the Southeastern game and I'll
buy out Louisiana Tech and play.
And we can bring in Tulane
too.
I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I don't care. It's to me, that doesn't bother me, that scenario. But what bothers me is I don't know if you're a big golf fan. I used to play a lot of golf and I love golf. I
do like golf. I do. Yeah. I don't play a lot, but I like watching it.
And when the Live Golf Tour happened, which I don't think it was supposed to be called Live. I think it was supposed to be called 54 because the Live stands for 54, but I digress. When that happened, it was like, oh, wow. They're paying out all these people. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're kind of breaking the rules. And it was interesting. It would have been great for the players, but it wasn't good for the PGA Tour. But now that fizzled out. What happens, say, for instance, if, I don't know, ExxonMobil buys the LSU football team, but they don't see a return in 3 years? Do they start chopping parts off of the program type thing? We're going to sell this building. We're going to do this because this is our property now. That's where I start getting nervous, where you get private money because private money wants a return.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's the way I've described it on my show I've described it as the Wild West. That's honestly what I think college sports is right now, because my thing is I'm not against NIL. I'm not against the transfer portal, but there's I'm not against, right. I'll give you an example. This might be a weird analogy, but this is one I thought about coming on to this show. Fire, if it's contained, can be a good thing. It can be a good thing. It can produce
an engine.
It can warm you up. It can help you.
Drives your car.
If it's not contained, it burns an entire forest down.
Yeah.
There is a wildfire in college athletics that has not been, there's no guardrails in it. So it's just, you see stuff burning up left and right, the foundation of the sports that we all love. You're saying, oh, well, regionality is being taken away when it comes to conferences. Oh, well, the playoff is going to expand to 24 teams, which nobody wants. All of these things are happening.
If you do that, we're going to make a super conference. Yeah,
it's there were no guardrails that were ever put in place. And now we're at this point where how do we fix it? I don't know. I don't know how you fix it.
Sometimes you got to let it just burn down.
Yeah. This might be a little bit silly, but I've always been in favor of I don't know, just putting a commissioner in place of college sports or college football. But I don't know how feasible something like that would be. I've always thought that wasn't the most terrible idea, because there is no governing body. The NCAA is supposed to be the governing body, but we've seen that the NCAA has no real power. We saw it in the Brendan Sorsby situation. So it's there is no governing body that actually has power and is going to regulate things. That's why Congress has to get involved.
Well, so this is the thing. When you bring that up, this is my thought on this. So the commissioner of the NCAA is supposed to be that commissioner. But then if you take, for instance, and you also now have the sports commission that I forget, I think it's college sports commission or something like that, that is over the playoff, and they make rules on that. They control that. They're two separate entities. Say, for instance, you put Nick Saban as the head commissioner of college football, right? Who's the answer to? Is the answer to the athletic directors? Because do they answer to the coaches? Does he answer to the fans? Like, it's,
and again, that's,
hard to
I'm
do.
not saying that's a,
and I'm not saying you're wrong. It'll probably help, but
it's like, I don't know what the fix is, because we're so far into it now that it's like, I mean, I don't know what you do. I mean, I know there's going to be new rules with, 5-for-5 and eligibility and all of that. Like, I know, which I was in favor of, and I think is a good thing. But like, overall, it's just, man, I don't know how you go back to. You're not going back to where you were. Like, there's no chance you ever go back to where you were. But how do you contain it and keep it from getting to the point where it just is beyond repair? Like that's my thing. Is like, I don't know how you fix it, because there's so much that's going on right now that it's just like, gosh, this is not the same sport that I grew up on, and I don't know how you fix it. Like, maybe on the field it's very similar, but even on the field, like, it's like, it's so hard to retain players now, year after year after year, with the transfer portal. Your roster is changing year over year at a rapid rate, and it's like, even with that, and then if you get the 2014 playoff, which I think eventually will happen, I think it's very unfortunate, but I don't think there's any doubt now that the 2014 playoff is coming. It is going to be here very, very soon. It may not impact it on the field necessarily, but like I brought up to you earlier with that Michigan-Ohio State game example, some of these regular season games aren't going to have the same weight. Like, they're not going to have the same weight. Like, it's just so it does in some way impact the play on the field, because it impacts how much these games matter. And it's like, my question is, expanding to 24 teams, you got to get to 9-3. So what's the incentive of, like, you expand to 24 teams, what's the incentive of LSU going to play Clemson or going to play?
There isn't an incentive now.
Like, if you get to 9-3, you get to 9-3. It doesn't matter if your non-conference was McNeese, Southeastern, and Louisiana Tech. You have 9 wins. It doesn't matter.
You go to 24 teams, you don't need 9 wins. There's no incentive for LSU to play Clemson now. There isn't, because you playing.
Well, we haven't seen a 9-3 team in the 12-team playoff yet, but
you're doubling it.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
now you're gonna see like 5 or 6 9-3 teams in the playoff,
and possibly
you're gonna see a couple 8-4 teams. You will absolutely see 8-4 teams in a 2014 playoff. There's no doubt about it.
And I love LSU playing Clemson. Like, I think it's fun. Like, I think it's a great moment for bringing in the Lane Kiffin era. But there's no incentive to it. Even Lane talked about that prior to, like, during, like, what was it, an interview? I think with, I forgot who the interview was with. It may have been Tyron, it may have been somebody else. Yeah, I saw that. No McNeese or Southeastern slander. But you take that, for instance, Lane never scheduled these big games. Like, they have this one game against Louisville. He wanted to play the McNeeses. He wanted to play the Charlottes. He wanted to play the Ohio Bobcats, not the Buckeyes, the Bobcats. Like, he didn't want to play. He wanted to play cupcake games to get his team ready.
That's what he did at Ole Miss.
That's what he's always done.
Basically, like, I mean, that's what he did. You a lot for his non-conference schedule at Ole Miss, but it's like, yeah, I just look. It's just sad to me. Again, I'll go back to the point that, like, this is an 80-20, 90-10 issue for college football fans.
Yeah.
And the 10% is going to win out. Like,
And so this is another question too, talking about the funding. How long until something like needing to find more funds or do like make it more profitable start to affect fans? Because I'm gonna bring something up for you real quick. You went to LSU.
mhm.
How much did you value your student tickets? A lot, right?
Yeah. I mean, they were discounted, and I got them for pretty cheap, and it was very, very really helped me out going
So
to all those games as a student.
I got sent this earlier, and apparently now LSU is going to make student tickets non-transferable. You get the only way you're going to be able to have a ticket or use it is if you're the student assigned to that ticket, which I think is reasonable.
Mhm.
But if you're not going to the game, you got to return your ticket. Then someone else can use it, but they got to do it that way.
Yeah.
How long until, because let's be honest, students are going to the game, but they're not staying as long as they used to. It's a little too much of a TikTok world. How long until that student section goes from like this to this? Because what worries me is now, okay, I'm not even going to get into a full conversation on this topic because this topic aggravates me. But how long until it turns into the NFL where, for instance, you or I or Zach and David or anybody either has kids or has kids one day, you want to bring your child to a football game, you can't get a ticket because they're $500 in the nosebleeds, like going to a Saints game sometimes.
I mean, the ticket prices are just like
The secondary
they're
market's crazy, but like
they're
the initial
pricing
market.
families out. Like, they are pricing families out at this point. Like, as far as like football, or like I know I forget what the average median ticket. I heard somebody talking about this a few weeks ago, but like the average ticket for like a World Cup game was like 2,000 something. Like the average ticket.
I wonder if that's
And it's
secondary
like,
market though.
yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure how accurate that is, or the for sure number on the like average ticket, but I know it was insane. And it's like they're pricing people out. Like, you can't afford it. Like you can't afford it. Like, it's just, man, I think, man, it's just like, I mean, I was looking at tickets for games this year just the other week, and I was like, my gosh, what like
That Lane Kiffin tax.
what ticket am I willing to buy here, or willing to go out and get here? It's just like, it's crazy, man, with like the prices. And it's not just college football, or it's just sports in general. It's kind of what it is. And it's unfortunate because it's like, you used to be able to buy tickets and go to a game and go do this and go do that with your family and like all of that. And it's like, you're not able to do that anymore. I mean, at least for college football. Now, you can find for LSU baseball, you can find some tickets for a good price. That's not a problem. But like for football games, it's unreal.
And I'll give a hat tip to Major League Baseball because I think it's a byproduct for having so many games. You can because me and my wife will talk about going somewhere. Like if we're going to be near Atlanta, it's like, okay, let's look at tickets for a Braves game, or if going to Houston, let's look at tickets for Astros game. You could usually find decently priced tickets. And you're right. LSU baseball, if you complain about the tickets being high dollar, you can always, talking with somebody who knows, always find at the most a $30 ticket under the grandstand, like a seat, not standing, a seat for 30 bucks somewhere.
Yeah.
Football, no. The best trick I've learned was wait till right before kickoff. That's when the prices plummet because everybody wants to dump their tickets. But how long until that's priced out? Like, how long until it's purely because you already hear people want to say, oh, build more suites at Outbox. Build more suites. Build more suites. How long until half the football stadium is suites and Death Valley is no longer Death Valley?
Yeah. I mean,
because that could be a part of it.
I have heard that from. This is a conversation that we can get into on another day. My dad, I get a lot of my love for sports from him, and a lot of my knowledge for sports growing up came from him. And it's just, and I've talked to other people in my family who are older than me, and I never got to experience the old box. Like, I don't really know what that was like. And I've gotten a few people to explain it.
I love that place
to me, or kind of, because I still like, I just don't know what it was like. And I've heard from people in my family older than me, like, everything is more corporatized now. Everything is more corporatized now. Like, the fans are not as into it as they were. They're just, it has become more corporate, has become less rowdy, it has become less energized as it was. And it's just, I mean, that's what I've heard from people who have watched this longer than I have.
This is what I'll say about it, because I remember the box. I remember the original box. Went to a lot of games of the original box. The difference between that box and the new box, in all reality, there's not a huge difference. It's bigger. You have more room. There's it's you know, it's you can fit a lot more people, but the old box fit that many people. You're just on top of each other. Now, as far as being rowdy, you've been to games. I've been next to you at games. People go nuts. The difference is now you have security. You didn't really have security. Like, my first memory of the old Alex box, I tell everybody this when they ask me about it. I was a little kid. I walk in the bathroom, and above the urinal, it was a pig trough, was a window ledge, and on top of it, like a small little square window like this, lined with Crown bottles. And I looked at my dad and I went, "What's that?" Because I didn't know. And he goes, "Don't worry about it." And it was just because everybody brought their Crown in, they dump it in their Coke and go back to their seat. That place was rowdy. Now you have metal detectors, you have security, you have people, like, you can't lean. You were there at the right field line. You can't lean against the concrete block by the right field foul line just to watch them warm up. You can't lean against that. That's no. A guy will stop you if you put your leg against it. That's the difference. Everything got nerfed.
And I'm not saying like the box doesn't still get into it. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all.
You're right.
I find it, you know, I mean, just, as things become more corporatized, you're starting to see, like, I mean, you know, I know there are times where I've watched, you know, LSU football games, and I've been guilty of this too a couple of times when I was a student. There was one game, funny story. There was one game where, like, I had to leave, like, early. It was the UCLA game in September.
When it was hot as could be.
There was no way I was going to make it through that entire game. Like, me and my friends, it was a close game when we left. And we were like, look, I felt bad for leaving because it's a close game, but there's no way I'm going to be able to make it through this. It was like one of the most miserable games weather-wise I've ever been to. So I've been guilty of it too occasionally. But it is like, you're seeing more people leave early. You're seeing, you know, again, this is not me saying it's not as good as it was or it's not still good. I think it's going to be an epic environment in the fall with Lane Kiffin here now. I cannot wait to see how Tiger Stadium looks like on September 5th. And also, like, dude, Clemson, Bama, A&M, and Texas in the same year in Tiger Stadium. I cannot remember a home schedule that good in quite a long time. I really can't.
Quite a long time. And you're paying that Lane Kiffin tax when you look at them prices now, though. That's that Lane Kiffin tax. And I don't know. It's you're right. Everything's corporatized. I don't mind, like, Venture Global on the field. I kind of mind the Woodside energy on the jersey, but
you have to have it, though.
It's
at this point with how college sports is, you have to have it.
But see,
you
like
have to generate revenue.
I'm a traditionalist, and, like, I'm honest about that. But, like, baseball with the logo on the side, the helmet, all that stuff, it's like, come on. When is this going to turn to European soccer where I can't tell you the name of the team because they have TikTok right across their chest? I don't know who's who. Like, if it turns into that, that's when it kind of loses all, like,
Zach is gonna get
that's
mad at us.
special.
We
No, there's
bashed
nothing wrong
McNeese.
with soccer.
We
There's
bashed
nothing wrong.
McNeese and Southeastern earlier, and now we're bashing European soccer.
Well, there's nothing wrong with soccer. There's nothing wrong with soccer. It's just like he'll even admit it. It's like
I know
it gets a little too sponsorful. But like, and I was gonna bring up a story we could chew off on a little bit, but I don't think we need to get back into the eligibility discussion. I was going to bring up the story about the 15 kids in Ohio getting an extra year of eligibility. They're already trying to circumvent the 5-for-5 program. We all knew this was coming. You don't have any guard. You have no way of fixing it. You have no way of fixing it. But we're going to bring up one more story, the dunk on Ole Miss, but I'm going to do it politely because we're talking about an LSU guy here. And then we're going to get into another fun little conversation. I'm going to get out of here. So I talked to you about this earlier. Wait till it comes up. Iowa baseball commit, new Iowa baseball commit, that is, Brett Harris was told his scholarship at Ole Miss was rescinded just a month before he was set to arrive on campus. Now, here's a rundown of the story. High point, not get into the deep details. He was diagnosed with cancer. And he was fighting it. He was throwing up 14, 15 times a day. His senior year of baseball, he was a football player, ended up transitioning into baseball, got a scholarship and a ride to Ole Miss, hit 414 while he's throwing up 14 to 15 times a day, playing catcher, did not miss a game.
Gosh.
And just recently, Ole Miss called him up because they were worried about him missing time at Ole Miss to be at the Mayo Clinic. Buddy, I'll give Iowa credit. I said in my post earlier, you got a dog. That kid's a dog. A kid got out there every day in that state, put up those numbers, and play. Dog. He's going to be picture him healthy. What is your opinion on that? Just from the high points of, because I haven't wanted to crush Ole Miss for this because one, I don't want to get into the Ole Miss algorithm again. Two, Mike Bianco is still a Tiger. Like, I don't care if Maverick Rizzi went to Ole Miss. I get it. He went to Ole Miss. Everybody's mad. He's still a national championship Tiger, and so is Mike Bianco. I think it's sleazy, personally, but what is your take on it?
I would agree with everything you said. I do think it's sleazy, but like I don't wanna sit up here and bash, Mike Bianco and like get into all that. That's not what I'm about. But like, just like you said, like those numbers, like what hitting 414 with what that kid was going through is just absolutely insane. Like to be that good when you're going through that type of health issue is just absolutely, that is absolutely insane.
I'm pulling up the article right now. I want to tell you his full line right here. Because it's absolutely, I read that and I was like, well, because I saw the first article and I went, okay, kid has cancer. He probably didn't produce. A lot of people, I think it's changed now, or 5-for-5 and with the roster size. It used to be your scholarship was not for 4 years. It was a year-to-year thing. You could lose your scholarship. People didn't realize that. So I was like, this and that, blah. But then I read through the article. He had a brain tumor. I apologize. He had a brain tumor, not cancer. So I apologize. He had a brain tumor. He had 414 with an on-base percentage of 549, 15 doubles, 31 RBIs, 28 walks, 22 runs scored in 32 games.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, absolute dog.
Catching every day, catching 32
That's
games,
insane.
catching.
That's insane.
Like, and I'll give Mike Bianco this credit. He called the kid. He didn't pawn it off. He called him and said, I got bad news. We're pulling your scholarship. And big ups for Iowa for bringing the kid in. Let's get to the chat real quick. Come say what's up to everybody. Make sure we didn't miss anything. I saw this early. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I do want to respond to a question I saw in the chat.
Which one?
David asked me whose list I
We're
thought
gonna
was
bring that up
best
here in a
from
minute.
last night.
Okay.
We're
gonna bring it up in a minute.
Because I do
Robbie,
have a take on that.
Randy, gonna be a greatest baseball weekend with the draft and then the home run derby on Monday on Netflix, featuring Bryce Harper, Ennis Park, and Jack Kaggs as well. What do you think about the derby going to Netflix?
Man,
It worries me.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing like with the NFL, it's absolutely insane how many platforms the NFL is on. Like, I want to go just watch an NFL football game, and I'm like, is it on NBC, Fox, CBS, Amazon, Netflix, YouTube?
I worry about
what
the screen.
platform is it on? It's like that's getting pretty crazy.
I worry about the quality of stream because I remember seeing Mike Tyson's butt in the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. But like, I'll give Paramount credit. I watched that UFC fight a couple weeks ago at the White House. Awesome.
I think their service is better than it was for Netflix live events. I think that was like, obviously the first couple ones were pretty rough. I think it's gotten a little bit better. But yeah, it's pretty crazy how with professional sports, like it's like what, didn't Duke sign some type of, it's not even just professional sports now. I think Duke signed some type of deal with like Amazon or something to like do their like non-conference games. I don't know if that's exactly right, but there was some type of deal that they had. I'm gonna search that up real quick.
Like, I know about NBC and Notre Dame, but that's really, other than that, it's ESPN for the SEC and Fox for the Big Ten. Zach, what do you think about this? I want 1 year of no conference game, just SEC versus Big Ten every week. That sounds like a gauntlet. Yeah. Great games. Sounds like a gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. And this I was looking at this. Duke and Amazon Prime Video have a multi-year broadcast agreement that makes Prime the exclusive streaming home for 3 of Duke's marquee non-conference. It's basketball. It's not football. It's basketball. But they have like a deal. So you're starting to see it. It's actually basketball. That's my bad. But I think
about this. Okay, they do that. This whole rigmarole with 24 teams and having what the Protect College Sports Act that, we were told would solve everything. No, we're pooling money. How are you going to pool that?
You want to talk? You just asked earlier about alternative ways to generate revenue. Well, there's one right there.
You can do that, but if the College Sports Act goes through and you have to pool everyone's money, now that's the only thing I don't like about that act and pooling money, because now you'll have what is the Pac-10 isn't around, so what is it, the Pac-4 or whatever it is, who gets no pool, no viewership, they get the same amount of money as like an SEC
the Pac-12
team?
is I think kind of reformed this year in football. They have like Boise State, Texas State in there now, and like,
I'm riveted.
So that's
I'm riveted to watch
them. It's gonna be great stuff. I know. Pac-12 After Dark used to be a thing. But no, I think that would be interesting. I think, look, let's say this. The Big Ten has won 3 straight national titles in college football. I think this conversation has been being had more and more over the past number of years, because you had Michigan, Ohio State, and Indiana win the last 3 natties. The SEC is a deeper conference. It is a deeper conference. When you look at, the Big Ten with Rutgers and Northwestern and
I'm gonna say Indiana, because Indiana's not going to be 30 years old this year.
Yeah, I mean, when you say that, I'm sure Big Ten opponents will throw out, well, we have Rutgers and you have Arkansas in football, or we have Northwestern State. Or we have Northwestern and you have was one of the worst teams. But I think overall, when you look at it, yes, the top of the Big Ten recently, like when the top of the Big Ten has played the top of the SEC recently, the top of the Big Ten has won in the past 3 years. In the past
I'm trying to
3
remember
years.
who won the Texas Ohio State game last year. I think that was Ohio State, right?
Yeah, it was Ohio State.
Okay.
So I'm saying when the top of the Big Ten has played the top of the SEC, the Big Ten has won in the past 3 years. I think that is true, but I think it's also true that the SEC is a deeper conference, even though the Big Ten has won the last 3 national titles. So that's an interesting conversation between the SEC and the Big Ten right now in football, because it used to be like a no-brainer, and I still believe the SEC is the best conference in football, but it used to be a no-brainer that the SEC was, because the SEC would win national titles in football every year. You've seen over the past 3 years the Big Ten, the best teams in the Big Ten, the Ohio States and the Michigans and the Oregons get the best of some of the better teams in the SEC. So it's more of a conversation and more of a discussion now. That's pretty interesting, and that I look at every year.
Well, like thinking about it now, like I can't tell you every team in the Big Ten off the top of my head. I can tell you every team in the SEC, but that's bias, right? But I look at it like this. The Big Ten, the top of the Big Ten stays the top of the Big Ten, no matter what, every year. The bottom of the SEC churns. It changes all the time. It used to be Vanderbilt. Now it's Kentucky and South Carolina. Missouri, people give them all kinds of crap. They've been to more SEC championships than we have since they got into the SEC.
So I agree with that sentiment, and I would have agreed with it 100% if we had said this time last year. Indiana just went 16-0 and won the national title.
But they're
okay. So
I hear that, and I hear the idiots going, they're just as good. They'll beat the 2019 LSU football champions.
No, absolutely,
no, they
absolutely
wouldn't.
not.
You couldn't even gritty like them. You couldn't even get the gap. What is wrong with you?
But I think
milk toast white. That's what they are.
But my point is, I agree. Typically, it's Ohio State, it's Oregon, it's Michigan. Those are the top 3 teams. But Indiana 3 years ago was one of the worst teams in the sport. Was one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. Now they just first team ever to go 16-0. LSU 2019 beats Indiana all day, every day, 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. Absolutely. But yeah, it's just I think it's interesting to see with the Big Ten and the SEC now what's been up with that over the past 3 years.
Look, I keep hearing all this 16-0. LSU in 2019 would have gone 16-0 if they played 16 games. They just didn't have it. Even in the games that, everybody talks about were tough games for LSU, they weren't really tough when you go back and watch them. The other day I watched the LSU Oregon game from I think 11. Yeah, because Jerry Lee was at quarterback. It was kind of like Tyron's breakout as number 7. That was a tougher game than I remembered. But I mean, South Carolina, bottom of the conference, always gives us fits. Arkansas, terrible team. They could be 1-8 going into that game, which, by the way, bring that game back to the day after Thanksgiving. But
Arkansas always plays LSU close. It does not matter the record going in. It matters 0. Arkansas plays LSU close every year.
David said, okay, we can't give Mizzou that much credit. That also had a lot to do with us being in the same division as Bama and the East sucking. Let me ask you this, and I'll ask the chat this as well. By the way, if you haven't liked the stream, please do that on all channels and repost it. Do you like this new format, or would you rather have it back to East and West?
Man.
I personally would rather have the East and West. Personally, it was just so much easier to track.
I think, but here's my thing: we have more. LSU's not gonna go 10 years without playing Georgia now, or go 10 years without playing another team now. Like, I think the last time LSU was in Georgia for a game was like 2014. I think that was like the last time
Yeah.
LSU went to Athens. Like, that was over a decade since LSU went to Athens. Like, I think I do, like, I don't mind the East versus West. I think it was a little bit unfair at times because the West was so much deeper and
Stacked.
better. It was stacked. So it was like the best 3-4 teams in the SEC would be in the SEC West, but
Yeah.
only one of those teams would have been able to play in the SEC championship. But I think for me, I do like the fact that you're playing like LSU with the new format will play every team on the road in the next, like in a 4-year span. They won't go 4 years without playing, or Texas won't go 4 years without coming to Baton Rouge. Georgia won't go 4 years without coming to Baton Rouge. Like, I like that. I think the thing for me is the number one thing for me that I don't like about it is because LSU's not playing Florida every year now, and they're not playing Bama every year now.
They'll
That's
play
the
Bama
thing I
every year.
don't like.
They'll
What'd you
play
say?
Bama every year.
No, not
They'll
they
make
don't.
sure.
They don't play Bama next year. Like, it's already said. They don't play Bama in 2028, and they don't play Bama in or they don't play Bama in 2027, and they don't play Bama in 2029. Bama's not a every year opponent for LSU.
Yeah.
It's A&M,
Yeah.
Ole Miss, and Arkansas. So, like, LSU's not playing Florida this year. They're not playing Bama next year. Like, that's like, we haven't played Auburn since what, 2024? We haven't been to Jordan Hare since like what? I mean, I think maybe 2023. Like, that's a rivalry. So I think there are positives and negatives.
What would you
comes to the new format.
So and like I like what, and David's right. Like, I honestly prefer the East and West, but he's right. The top two teams make it to Atlanta is foolproof. That's 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's a give and take. Would you rather play Bama and Florida every year, right? Or miss those games and then have the SEC championship? Because sometimes what I don't like about that is you could possibly have a scenario where the best two teams in the SEC already played.
So here's the question. Would you rather play Bama or Florida every year, or at least play Georgia or Texas at least every 2 years? Because, like, you play Bama and Florida every year and you go back to the SEC West the way it was, then you have the chance to where you're not playing Georgia or Texas for like a 5-year span.
I'd rather play Bama, Florida every year.
Yeah.
Personally.
I mean, I think that's fair. I certainly think that's fair.
Personally. And David's right. They keep trying to force this LSU A&M rivalry on us. And it's like, in football, shove it. Like, I don't care. Baseball, it's a rivalry now. I'll give it that. But in football, it's not a rivalry. We have, actually, thank you, A&M, for getting us to fire Brian Kelly. You did us a huge favor. Now we have Lane Kiffin. You're in trouble. Speaking about the 2019 team, and talk about now having issues. Let me see. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. I know. So Jim Cross, our buddy Jim Cross, the In Off the Bench podcast, he had one tough game, and it was Auburn.
That's Auburn took you to.
They did.
They played us the closest. I mean, that Auburn game in October was 23-20 was the final score.
Well, let's see.
I think it was 23-20.
28-28, and we wrote out there. It was my favorite game that season. Let's see. And then Bill Yacht brought up Florida, but the game that nobody remembers, and I remember it viscerally because I was texting somebody updates. Ole Miss. John Reese Plumlee still gives me fits.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I'm sitting there texting, "Oh, the game's over.
It was
good."
like 65-31. Like, people forget. Like, there was, let's see, during that season, Vandy put up 31. Ole Miss put up 31. So there were a couple games on the road there where, like, was it close? No, because Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson put up 50 plus. But like John Rice Plumlee, like I remember you
remember
played
him just
like
he went for what 600 yards.
I
Like,
forget, man, but that was
Texas gave us hell, and I want to remind people of this. I was at walk-ons in Zachary watching the Texas game, and people were dogging Joe Burrow during that game. And I get it was early in the season, and LSU fans are going to LSU fan because we're nuts, apparently. But that Ole Miss game still gives me nightmares because I just remember getting way too close.
David is right. That was when people started to talk about, is LSU going to win it all because of the defense? Now, the defense turned out to be, great.
Enough.
And enough. I think it was a good defense. But, like, at one point, that was the point where people were like, oh, LSU, give up 31 to Ole Miss. John Rice Plumlee.
He's right.
He's right.
So I got one question for you here. I had this idea. But if we have divisions now, that would make up 7 of your 9 SEC games. So you only see 2 from the other division every year. Yeah. We have 16 teams in the SEC, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Take away permanent. Well, you can still have permanent opponents. You can still have permanent opponents. You have 4 team divisions. SEC South, East, West, and North.
Mm-hmm.
You have to play those 3 teams, but then you schedule out from the other conferences. So you can keep your Bamas, your Floridas. You can schedule Georgia. You can schedule Mizzou for a good week. What about that realm? Well, you still have to play A&M, Arkansas, and Ole Miss, unfortunately. But then you can still schedule your Bamas, your Floridas. You can go to Georgia. You can go to Auburn. You have 5 games to play with, or 6 games to play with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like that. I would like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think the way they set it up is you have your 3 permanent opponents and a 9-game conference schedule, and then you play at least like you don't go 2 years without playing a team. You don't go 2 years. You don't go 4 years without playing a team on the road.
You want to make parity? You want to make some parity?
Mm-hmm.
You still have 9 conference games. You still have 9. But for the leaders in each 4 of those divisions, their 9th game is now a kind of like pre-conference championship in the NFL. It's like a divisional championship.
I don't know how you would like
schedule it. You just go open week, and then for everybody else not up for the conference championship, you just schedule games.
Yeah. That's interesting.
You tell me I don't can't figure that out?
You could. Yeah, you could. You could. You'd probably have to have maybe a bye week in between and kind of set everything up with that. Or you probably would need one.
I think you could figure it out.
I think you could too. I think you could too.
Start on week 0, go through so you can have that bye week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like it. Let's see.
But then in a 2014 playoff, why would that matter? I'm kidding.
No, you're right. Why?
This is why I get frustrated. Like,
well, see, this is where they drive
about
me nuts.
all these things. It doesn't matter with the way the sport is going.
It doesn't matter.
That's why it makes me frustrated.
They bring up player safety, and that drives me insane. Because if it's player safety, why do you keep adding games every year? One, and now you're extending the playoff, which is going to add even more games.
They only do it because of money. That is the sole
But they talk about player safety. It's player safety.
It has nothing to do with anything else but money. That is the only thing it is about.
All right. I'm going to bring this up before I lose my ever-loving mind. Because I hear him talk about player safety. And what that guy said, what did Will Smith say in that movie Concussion? I should remember the quote if I'm going to bring up the stupid movie, Paul. I can't remember what he said. But it was like a meme thing. It was like a gift thing. But anyways, we brought it up earlier. You definitely wanted to get to it. So Go Deep Dive last night did a list of the. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. Sports video games. And they made a list. Where is your vote going, Mr. Babin?
So I wanted to respond earlier because David, you
He brought it up in the chat.
you brought it up, and man, you really came in at the buzzer for me with the Tiger Woods.
Me too.
Dude, like the old Tiger Woods games, like absolutely rocked. Like they were
Well, that one in particular,
like
the Tiger Woods, the
that
Masters.
one was like the Masters one, like that's the one that like I would have had a debate, because there are other good, like all of the lists are good, but like David has arguably my two favorite games of all time when it comes to sports, because like CFB, absolutely, just like the CFB franchise as a whole, but like you throw Tiger Woods in there, like that was my childhood, was playing Tiger Woods 2012. Like that was like one of my favorite games to play. Like that game that's really what kind of put it overboard for me, was because I was kind of doing some other stuff last night. So I went back and watched the show, but it was later in the night. It wasn't live. And the whole time they were doing the list, I was like, are they going to mention Tiger Woods? There's no way Tiger Woods is going to be left off this list, right? Because, like, honestly, if I had to pick, I probably would have picked Tiger Woods either second or third.
I don't know if it'd been that high. Real quick, Babin. Max, make your daddy get you some ice cream. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, like, I think Tiger Woods is like maybe not 2 or 3, but like I'm saying that was like one of my favorite games growing up to play.
To get the spin on it, you just slap that. You start slapping that joystick.
You just spam the X button. To like,
just
spam the X button while the ball's in the air. No, it's going long. Backspin.
Mulligan. I do my best to always vote against David. I do my best because I get accused of just agreeing with David. David has the best list.
Yeah,
David has the best list. CFB 25. Yeah, I mean, because it was, you finally got the full experience of college football video game, right? Yeah. I don't agree with NFL 2K5. I'm sorry. I don't. That's the one kicker, but
that's the only thing is the 2 in the middle for David came out when I was 1 year old.
Well, me and David actually, David's older than me, so I can say that he's older than me, but I got, like MVB NCAA baseball, just like I can tell you songs from that video game.
Paul, I've never. I was, because of my age, I've never played a college baseball video game.
You can still do it.
It hurts me to say
I've
never ever played a college baseball video game, and it hurts my heart. Like, do you know how much I would pay if they came out with a college baseball game next year? I would, like, dude, like that's my wish list for, like, if there's one game that I wish they would remake, it's please give me a college baseball video game. Please, because I've never played one. And that's like one of the games.
Do you have a console?
Yeah, I have a PS5.
Hold on. What was it, like 07 or 06? I have a trivia question for everybody. So also, if you guys, I wanted to do a trivia. I want to do trivia. I think it'll be fun. And I want to get some people on here. I do have Babin's already roped into it. He's stuck. I have another person who's got to find time. But if that's something y'all would be interested in, let me know.
Dave, his last comment, I spent $100 in microtransactions that they came out with the college baseball video game.
I was actually going to ask that earlier. Would it bother us if it was MVP NCAA baseball? I don't think so. Like if you could buy Jay Johnson, right? Or like one of your celebrations be the Dar bat flip. Like that would be killer. That would be killer.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get those games on PS5. I tried. I still have my original Xbox and I have the game.
We used to have a PS2, but I don't think we have it anymore. So that'll always be for a long time. That'll always be the only game that I played a lot of. Like as a kid, I'm telling you, like growing up, I was a big video game, like sports video games, the show, 2K, Madden, like all of that, college football, of course, above all else, and Tiger Woods. Like I was all of those games. Yeah, it's kind of like it's unfortunate because like there are a couple of the games that were listed last night. I was like, man, because of my age, I'm not like I didn't get to play those games, but they were probably epic.
Oh, David, I still have the physical copy of the game. Like I still have the disc from my original Xbox and the Xbox. Slugfest. I never played Slugfest. I never played it.
Let's see. What are other games like?
But
I never played any NFL 2Ks.
I didn't either. I do have a question, everybody. Who was the cover athlete? And don't Google this, you idiots. Who is the cover athlete for NCAA 14?
The cover athlete for NCAA 14.
Don't Google it, Babin. I could see it in your classes.
No, I know it was a Michigan.
David Googled it.
It was a Michigan player.
Yeah, it was Denard Robinson. Dude, I didn't remember who it was.
I cannot believe I played that game for 10 years. I played that game for 10 years.
Oh, that reminds me. Before we get out of here, do you have a question from Mr. Brian Turner? All right. Thank you for sending to me an audio message, Brian. I really appreciate it, man. Because my number was on here, and I was like, I don't want to give every psycho my phone number. Brian's not a psycho, though. By the way, Brian, I don't know if you realize, if you probably see it right there. Thank you for your service, man. Appreciate it. All right. So we have a question from Brian Turner.
Yeah, bro. Essentially, this is a year 4 or 5 roster in year 1. That's why expectations are high. Not to say the same thing over and over again, but I think that as the season goes along, especially against good defensive fronts like Clemson, Ole Miss, A&M, of course, Alabama, schools like that, I think that this LSU football team can run the football with this upgraded offensive line, with potential top 5 pick Jordan Seaton, former All Big Ten pick Alu Ball, improved center Braylon Moore, and I think if this running back room with former number 1 overall running back Harlan Berry, Kaden Durham, and the gentleman they have from Wisconsin, I think if this team can do what it has the DNA to do, and that's be a physical football team up front, run the football, and of course be able to stop the run with this big physical front seven, the sky is more than just the limit. I think this team can win the national championship.
What do you have to say about that?
I have brought this stat up about 10 times on my show. It's one of my favorite stats from Lane's time at Ole Miss because people associate Lane Kiffin's offense with explosiveness and explosive plays, and they absolutely should. That's a part of Lane Kiffin's offense. But Lane Kiffin was at Ole Miss for 6 years. For 6 seasons, Lane Kiffin never finished with a rushing offense that was not in the top 6 in the SEC. For 6 straight seasons. We can talk about the explosive plays. We can talk about Sam Levitt. We can talk about Trades Green and what you have in the wide receiver room. Absolutely. But Lane Kiffin loves to run the football. Absolutely. And for 4 years, LSU was flat out bad at running the football. Besides Jaden Daniels,
Yeah.
LSU
Yeah.
never had a consistent running game under Brian Kelly. Never, ever had it. So everybody wants to bring up the explosive pass game, and I understand it, you absolutely should. But again, for 6 straight seasons at Ole Miss, Lane never finished with a rushing offense that was worse than top 6 in the SEC.
He was the 5th best in college football last year.
Yeah.
This is my thing. And the funny thing is, talking about video games, I don't know who you'll like when I play with LSU, just playing around with the exhibition. Caden Durham's a starting running back. Now, he's not going to be a starting running back game 1 this year. No, he's not. He's going to be Harlan Berry.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be 3rd in the depth chart. Caden is.
Barry, Durham, and Jones will all play a role. I think
Barry
Barry's
and
going to
Jones.
be, I think that's the top 2. I think Durham's going to get some action for sure. But yeah, I think it's, man. I just, the national championship thing, like, I love it. I do. And I want to be there. I really want to be there. There's so much new. Like, there is so much new. And, like, this team is going to be flat out one of the top 10 most talented teams in the country in the fall. Like, there's no question. There's no question the talent's there. But it's Lane's first year, man. And I think they can make the playoff. I personally am not willing to say national championship yet. I would love to get there eventually, but I just think first year, new system, and there's so much new, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And we haven't even seen Sam Levitt at full strength yet, like we will see in the fall. So it's just like, I on my show Monday, I said I see this team going either 9-3 or 10-2.
Yeah, that's
I think that's where I am. And I think they're going to be very, very good. I personally am not willing to go national championship level just yet.
I honestly believe the Clemson game is going to tell us a lot more than it did last year. Last year it was kind of fugazi. It was kind of a mirage. This year, I honestly believe Lane Kiffin and LSU Tigers come out and dog walk Clemson. To be completely honest, I don't think it's even close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even pulling that comment up, Jim.
No, Jim. No. No. The answer is no.
What worries me about do I think this team is talented enough to win a national championship? By all means.
They have the talent. They do.
It's that you have 60 new players on roster. Good news. No one's gotten in a lot of trouble that has been released yet. Mm-hmm. So there hasn't been a news release talking about players not being eligible. There is going to be something like that. Not getting into it. But it's not going to be of years past where you may lose a couple guys to that or something like that. Like Denver Harris, Patrick Lindsay, or Philip Lindsay. Like, it's not going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
My worry is I don't think it's going to, it's going to be a lot of new, and I think it's going to be it's going to be like Lane understands the environment he's walking in. I don't think he's fully ready for that. Like, he's ready. That's the wrong. I don't think he knows what he's going to get fully when he steps on that field. Like, it's going to be nuts.
I mean, and again, they're going to be a very, very good team this year. Like, they will be very, very good this year. I think, with all of the new players and with a brand new system, it's hard for me to say they're gonna win the Natty in year 1. I think they could definitely make it to the playoff, like, no doubt. I think they can definitely make it to the playoff, but Urban Meyer, if you want to hear an LSU fan that doesn't think LSU has to win the national championship year 1, there's a lot of them. So they're out there.
Yeah. Oh, well, that wasn't Cignetti's first year.
What?
That was
Cignetti's second year.
Yeah.
That was Cignetti's second year. He made the playoff in his first year.
Like this,
they had the easiest schedule in the country.
And they also had the oldest roster
Yeah.
last year. But it's like, because I sit back and I think about it with talent and think about like there's questions on the offensive line, 100% for me. I know like Jordan Seaton is a question mark, but Weston Davis is.
Mhm.
Braylon Moore is still a kind of a question mark. Like there's things on the offensive line that worry me. The
I
wide
think
receiver room is so deep, it has so many guys. How do you narrow it down to like the top 4? It turns into that. But I also look at it like this at the end of the day. Is there anybody else in the country that's not named Nick Saban that would want coaching any position group on this team differently? Like there's no Matt House situation. There's no, Joe Sloan or, Polian. Everybody there is like I couldn't think of a better group of coaches.
the biggest question for me going into this season is on both lines of scrimmage. That's the biggest question for me. Is the offensive line on a bad team in 2025? The offensive line was by far the worst position group. It was atrocious.
It's been the worst
And
position group
then-
for years. We just didn't
Yeah.
acknowledge
They're
it.
going to be better. Like, there's no doubt they're going to be better. You got an offensive tackle that's one of the best tackles in the nation, and he's going to be a top 15 pick in the NFL draft next year. You get Braylon Moore back at center. You get Alubaba, who's going to play guard for you, who's played like 1,500 snaps in his college career. So, like, you're going to be better. But that's my question. And then on the line of scrimmage on the defensive side, you're good, but you're young. Like, you're young. You have Prince William Monmielen on the edge, who was
Who's going to be a monster.
he's going to be
You have
very,
Jordan
very
Ross.
good. Jordan Ross, who has a lot of potential, but especially at the tackle position. Like, you brought in, obviously, Lamar Brown, Richard Anderson, Deuce Jones.
I think Richard Anderson is going to be a problem.
Absolutely. No doubt. But it's like year one, you were going to have a talented but inexperienced front four outside of Prince William Monmielen.
And Jordan Ross.
And Jordan Ross. So I think for me, the number one question comes on both lines of scrimmage. Because again, you're going to be a very, very good team this year. Like you are going to be. I just think I'm not, saying
All bought in.
I'm bought in on this team making a playoff. Like I am. I'm not bought on this team winning a national championship in year one. And I think that's okay.
Oh, no, it is. I think they have the talent and they have the opportunity to. I'll say this. Whether they win a national championship or not, I think it's playoffs or bust to a point. To a point.
Yeah.
But the real thing I want is to have this year be fun. I just want to enjoy LSU football again. Like, even like, I remember like the 11 Bama at Bama, the game of the century, the 9-6 game. If we'd have lost that game, it wouldn't have been fun, but I wouldn't have been so heartbroken. It was like, man, they played hard. They played hard. Any games this year was just like, you didn't run out of your own stadium. That's not fun.
Yeah.
That's not fun. Well, aside from that, Babin, tell the people what you got going on, man.
Well, you can find me, Babin on the Bayou, on YouTube. I'm on X. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook, even though Facebook is hard to get views on Facebook.
I gave up on Facebook. I got views one time, and that was when I put that short out about Brendan Sorsby.
But no, so we'll be I plan to be live at some point tomorrow. Don't know exactly what we're talking about yet, but we will get to that. We will get to that tomorrow. So I plan to be live tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, Babin on the Bayou, YouTube, X, TikTok, Facebook. So yeah, thank you for having me on the show, man. It was a blast.
Thank you for coming on. I loved it,
Of
man.
course.
And make sure y'all go follow and subscribe to everything Babin does. He does a great job. He really does. If you haven't already, please like the stream, share the post, Get all your friends to come subscribe to the channels. You help us out a lot. You don't understand how helpful it truly is when y'all do that. Before we go, you know I always do this, Babin. We're going to go over a quick Bible verse real quick. Then we're going to get out of here. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 4 through 5. But God, being rich in mercy, for his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead through our trespasses, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. And to me, that just tells me right there, no matter what your past is, no matter how far you have fallen from grace, you're always welcome right to that because you've been covered in the blood, my friend. Covered in
Amen.
the blood. Aside from that, remember, God loves you. All he wants you to do is love him back. Make sure you go follow and subscribe to Babin. He doesn't have enough followers on Next for one, or subscribers on YouTube. He needs those numbers need to get pumped up. And I will see y'all Tuesday. Be expecting a announcement on a guest next Thursday. Got a great guest coming on the show next Thursday. I'm not going to tell y'all anything but 2019. All right, Babin. Anything else you want to say?
Thank you for having me, my friend. It was a blast. Thank you guys for tuning in.
God bless everybody. Y'all have a good night.